The past feels settled, locked away, silent. Every moment that has already happened seems finished forever. History books are closed, memories fade, clocks move forward and never look back. That is what most people believe. But modern physics tells a very different story, a story that quietly challenges one of the deepest assumptions about reality. The idea that the past is gone may be one of the biggest illusions of human experience. Physics does not treat time the way our minds do. In the equations that describe the universe, the past is not erased, it is not deleted, it is not destroyed. In fact, many of the most respected scientists in history reached a disturbing conclusion. The past may still exist, not as a memory, not as a story, but as part of reality itself. This is not science fiction, this is not philosophy. This comes directly from experiments, equations, and discoveries that changed how we understand space, time, and matter. Some of these discoveries were so strange that even the scientists who found them struggled to accept what they meant. Yet again and again, the math refused to let the past disappear. Time, according to modern physics, does not flow the way it feels. There is no universal present moment shared by everyone. Two observers moving at different speeds do not agree on what is happening right now. For one observer, an event may belong to the past. For another, that same event may still be unfolding. This is not theory. This has been tested. Time itself bends, stretches, and shifts depending on motion and gravity. Even more unsettling facts come from quantum physics. At the smallest scales of reality, events do not settle into a clear history until they are observed. In certain experiments, measurements made in the present appear to decide how particles behaved in the past, not symbolically, physically. The results suggest that parts of the past remain undefined until the universe is forced to choose. This raises a quiet but powerful question. If the past can be influenced by present actions, was it ever truly fixed, or was it always waiting? Some physicists now argue that time is not fundamental at all. They propose that time emerges from deeper relationships between particles. In this view, past and future are not separate containers. They are patterns inside a larger structure, a structure where every moment exists equally, even if human consciousness can only move in one direction. This matters more than it sounds, because if the past still exists, then reality is not a moving point traveling through time. Reality is a whole, complete, frozen, and eternal. Every moment, every decision, every action still there, not changing, just inaccessible. This also explains why time feels so real to us. The human brain is built to track cause and effect. Memory stores yesterday, anticipation projects tomorrow, entropy increases, disorder grows. This gives time an arrow, a direction. But physics itself does not demand that arrow to exist. By the end of this video, you will understand why many scientists say the past is still part of the universe. You will learn how relativity erased the idea of a universal now, how quantum experiments quietly rewrote history at the smallest scale, and why the flow of time may be a feature of the mind, not of reality itself. These ideas are rarely discussed outside academic circles. They challenge intuition, they feel uncomfortable, yet they come directly from the same science that powers satellites, GPS systems, and modern technology. The same science that works whether we like its implications or not. This video is not about speculation. It is about what physics already tells us. Slowly, carefully, reluctantly. The universe may not forget anything, not even the past. Stay until the end, because the final insight ties everything together in a way that changes how time itself should be understood. The deeper the science goes, the quieter and stranger the truth becomes. Welcome to our channel, where we explore the hidden layers of reality through science and reason. If you enjoy content that challenges what you think you know, make sure to subscribe and stay with us for more. Time feels simple. It feels obvious. It feels like something everyone understands without being taught. Moments arrive, stay briefly, then disappear. The past feels locked behind us. The future feels open and uncertain. The present feels like a thin line where everything happens. This sense of time is so natural that it rarely gets questioned. It feels built into reality itself. Everyday life reinforces this feeling. Memories point backward. Regret belongs to the past. Plans belong to the future. Causes come before effects. Breakfast happens before lunch. Aging moves in one direction. Everything about human experience suggests that time flows like a river, always forward, never stopping, never turning back. This way of thinking shapes language, culture, and thought. We talk about leaving the past behind. We talk about the future ahead of us. Time is treated as a moving conveyor belt, carrying the present forward. Once a moment passes, it feels gone forever. Nothing in daily life suggests otherwise. But this picture of time does not come from physics. It comes from perception. When scientists began to study time more deeply, they noticed something strange. The laws that describe nature do not require time to flow. In the equations of physics, time does not behave like a moving spotlight. Past and future are not treated as fundamentally different. The math works the same whether time moves forward or backward. This was the first crack in the everyday view of time. Then came a deeper shift. Einstein showed that time cannot be separated from space. Before this, space and time were thought of as independent. Space was where things happened. Time was when they happened. Einstein replaced this idea with a single structure called space-time. In this structure, time is not a background clock ticking away. It is woven into the fabric of the universe itself. Space-time treats moments the same way space treats locations. Just as cities exist whether someone is standing in them or not, moments exist whether someone is experiencing them or not. Yesterday is not destroyed. Tomorrow is not waiting to be created. They are simply different coordinates in space-time. This leads to a view where all moments coexist, not layered on top of each other, but laid out as part of a whole structure. Past events are not erased. Future events are not unreal. They exist in the same sense that distant galaxies exist. This idea is often called the block universe. In the block universe, reality is not updating itself frame by frame. The universe is complete. Every moment has its place. Time does not move through the universe. Conscious experience moves through time. This idea feels unsettling because it clashes with experience, yet it follows directly from relativity. Relativity shows that there is no universal present moment. There is no single slice of time that everyone agrees is happening now. Two observers moving differently will disagree on the timing of events. An event that appears to belong to the past for one observer can appear to be happening right now for another. This is not an illusion or a measurement error. It is a direct consequence of how space-time works. Motion changes how time is experienced. Speed and gravity affect the passage of time. Clocks moving at different speeds do not stay synchronized. Clocks in strong gravity tick more slowly than clocks far away. Because of this, the idea of a global now breaks down. There is no master clock for the universe. There is no cosmic present moment sweeping across reality. Each observer carries their own version of time. This means the labels past, present, and future are not absolute. They depend on perspective. Physics does not give special status to the present moment. The equations do not highlight now as more real than any other time. They describe the entire space-time structure at once. From this viewpoint, the flow of time is not a feature of the universe. It is a feature of human awareness. The brain experiences moments in sequence. It stores records of earlier states. It processes information step by step. This creates the sensation of movement through time, but physics suggests that this sensation does not reflect how reality itself is organized. The universe does not privilege the present. It does not erase the past. It does not wait for the future to arrive. All moments are part of the same framework. This is where intuition fails. Experience insists that time passes. Physics remains silent on that feeling. It does not deny it. It simply does not require it. In relativity, nothing marks the present as special. There is no physical signal that separates past from future. The division exists only relative to an observer. This turns the familiar picture of time inside out. What feels like a flowing river may be more like a landscape where every moment has a fixed location, where movement happens within the observer, not within time itself. This does not erase memory or choice or causality. It changes where they belong. Memory becomes a record within space-time. Choice becomes a process unfolding along a world line. Causality becomes a pattern inside the structure, not proof that time flows. The deeper physics goes, the more time loses its special role. What once felt fundamental begins to look secondary. The everyday story of time works well for living, but it may not describe reality at its deepest level. And this is only the beginning of where modern physics leads when it questions time. Quantum physics pushes this story even further. At very small scales, reality does not behave like solid objects moving along a clear timeline. Particles do not have fixed properties all the time. They exist as probabilities. They exist as multiple possibilities at once. Only when a measurement is made does one outcome become real. Before measurement, a particle does not follow a single clear path. It exists in a spread of options. This is not ignorance. It is not missing information. Experiments confirm this again and again. The universe itself does not choose until it is forced to choose. This leads to something deeply unsettling. In certain quantum experiments, the way a particle behaved earlier depends on how it is measured later. The decision made in the present determines how the particle's past must be described. The experiment does not reveal what already happened. It helps define what happened. In delayed choice experiments, particles travel through a system where their behavior can be read as either wave-like or particle-like. The choice of how to measure them is made after they have already entered the system. Yet the results act as if the particle somehow knew how it would be measured. The past behavior lines up with a future decision. This does not mean information travels backward in time in a simple way. It means the past was not fully settled in the first place. Until the measurement is complete, the system holds multiple histories at once. The past remains blurred. It exists in superposition. In quantum terms, the past is not a single story waiting to be uncovered. It is a range of possibilities that collapse into one when observed. The act of measurement does not just read reality, it helps shape it. This raises a careful question. Does the past actually change, or does it only become defined? Most physicists lean toward the second view. There is no rewriting of history. There is no undoing of events. Instead, certain details never had a fixed value until they were forced to take one. The universe was not hiding an answer. The answer did not exist yet. Whether a particle acted like a wave or a particle is not always a fact waiting in the past. It can depend on how the system is examined later. The later choice does not alter the past, it completes it. This challenges a basic assumption. The idea that the past is fully written, fully detailed, and fully determined may not hold at the quantum level. The broad structure exists, but the fine details may only lock into place when reality is observed. Physicists still debate what this means. Some see it as a limitation of language. Others see it as a clue that reality is fundamentally different from intuition. But all agree on one point. The quantum world does not treat the past as a finished object. This opens the door to even deeper ideas about time itself. Some theories suggest that time is not a basic ingredient of the universe. Instead of being fundamental, time may emerge from deeper quantum relationships. At the most basic level, the universe may be timeless. No ticking clock, no flowing moments, just correlations between states. In these views, time appears only when systems become complex enough, when information flows, when records form, when observers exist. Past and future are not built into reality. They arise from how systems interact and store information. If time emerges rather than exists on its own, then the division into past and future is not fundamental either. It becomes a pattern, a useful description, a way for minds to organize experience. This fits with what physics already shows. The equations do not demand a preferred direction of time. They do not label moments as past or future. Those labels appear only when entropy enters the picture. Entropy measures disorder. In most systems, disorder increases. This creates a direction, a sense of before and after. Memory depends on this. Records form in one direction. Causes line up before effects. This gives time an arrow. The brain is built to follow this arrow. It stores traces of earlier states. It predicts future ones. This creates the feeling of motion through time. The feeling is powerful. It is consistent. It feels unavoidable. But the arrow comes from conditions, not from fundamental laws. If entropy did not increase, time would not feel the way it does. The flow of time would lose its direction. This explains why the past feels unreachable. Memory only works one way. Records only form one way. Yet physics itself does not mark the past as destroyed or removed. In daily life, the past feels gone. Choices cannot be undone. Events cannot be revisited. This practical truth shapes behavior and meaning, but physics operates at a different level. From the viewpoint of modern physics, past, present, and future are not fundamentally different categories. They are parts of a larger structure. In relativity, they exist together in space-time. In quantum physics, some of their details remain open until observation. The past is not erased. It is not floating as a ghost. It is embedded in the structure of reality. Some parts are fixed. Some parts were never fully defined until interaction occurred. This does not remove responsibility or meaning. It reframes where they exist. Human experience moves forward. Reality itself may not. And this tension between experience and physics sits at the center of how time is understood today. The universe may not match the story we experience in our minds. What feels simple and obvious in daily life can look very different when seen through the lens of physics. Time does not behave the way memory suggests. It does not flow as cleanly as it feels. It does not divide reality into neat sections of past, present, and future. Our sense of time may be a tool, not a truth. A story shaped by memory, cause and effect, and the way information is stored in the brain. It helps us survive, plan, and learn. But usefulness does not guarantee accuracy. Physics shows a reality where moments do not vanish, where the present is not universal, and where the past is not as finished as it seems. In this deeper view, the past is not erased. It is not lost. It is woven into the structure of reality itself. Some parts are fixed. Some parts only become clear when observed, yet none of it simply disappears. What we call the past may still be there, existing quietly beyond normal perception. Time, then, may not be a river carrying us forward. It may be a landscape already complete, where consciousness moves along a path, mistaking motion for change in reality itself. The universe does not rush. It does not forget. It simply is. If this perspective challenged the way you think about time and reality, take a moment to like this video. It helps support the channel and reach more curious minds. And if you want more content that explores the hidden layers of science and existence, subscribe to the channel and stay with us for more.